Because the truth of the matter is that if you want to guard your feet, you put on shoes. If you want to guard your hands, you put on gloves. If you want to guard your elbow, you put on elbow pads. If you want to guard your face, you put on a mask. If you want to guard your ears, you put in earplugs. And for some of you who decided deliberately to guard your heart, you decided not to love. But I ask this question, how do you guard your mind? How do you guard that thing that's intangible? Intangible. And I'm going to go to my first scripture here. 2 Corinthians. I ask that you come with me because we're going to look at some scriptures to really to go into this thing. Okay? 2 Corinthians 10, verse 4 through 5. Amen. Amen. I know this is Youth Sunday. A lot of times we have a habit of deflecting. But it's important in this season, in this moment today, that we don't deflect. This message is for everybody. Deflection equals postponed deliverance. So deflection, postponed deliverance. So let's stay together. Amen? 2 Corinthians 10. All right. Y'all don't have, okay. All right. We're going to work it. Y'all got it? We're going to do this together. Amen. It says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God, mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. Let's pray. Let me just pray for a second. God, I need you now. I've studied, but you're a far more better preacher. Yes. So speak through me. Amen. Amen. So now he's going to build up. Now, in the Old Testament, the word stronghold was a rock or a cave or a haven used to the advantage of those who waged the war. My brother will be in the army. We learned how to build a foxhole. We learned how to build a foxhole. And so essentially what a foxhole is, it's a hole in the ground that's digged sometimes up to 6 feet. And so essentially we're in the ground and our weapons are up, but the enemy can't see us. So essentially we have an advantage over the enemy. And so it was a retreat. And so the stronghold was always a key point in the Bible for a king. For example, if you study the story of David and Saul, David had a stronghold. He had an area of retreat to his advantage. So if I were a king and I made up my mind to attack you, my defense would be the stronghold. You follow me? Yes. A synonym for stronghold is a fortress. The one place you don't know about that I can attack you at an advantage. Yes. Amen? And that was in the Old Testament. But in terms of reference to this scripture, the Greek word for stronghold is defined as philosophy or way of thinking. Are y'all listening? This won't make sense in a second, I promise. Now you have to ask this question because Apostle Paul is talking here. Was the apostle fighting the war? He wasn't. Was he a fighting king? Was he a fighting king to lead an army? No. So clearly he's not talking about a fortress in the Old Testament. So his meaning of stronghold was different. King David's definition of stronghold wasn't the same definition of that of the apostle. Paul's assignment was different. His assignment was to correct and to fix the philosophies of men and their way of thinking. So when Paul says the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God through the pulling down of strongholds, what he's saying is that to the pulling down of the way men think. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you have to guard your mind. Welcome to the gym. So there's a story about a lady She joined the gym. She decided to join the gym. She decided to join the gym, and upon joining the gym, she goes to the desk. And she joins the gym at the desk, and the gentleman tells her, listen, along with joining the gym comes some perks. So one of the main perks of joining the gym is that you get a trainer at any point that you need. You get a trainer at any point that you need one. So she made up in her mind that she will go and do it without the trainer. 1 week went by. No results. 2 weeks went by. No results. 3 weeks went by. No results. 4 weeks went by. By this point, she was gaining weight. She was gaining weight. So she made up in her mind, listen, okay, I need to take advantage of my membership perks, the membership perks of salvation, the membership perks of having a trainer, the membership perks of having a spiritual trainer. So the trainer asked her, he said, what's your goal? Like, what are you trying to do? What's your goal? So she goes to tell him, listen, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to lose weight in this area. I'm trying to gain in this area. I want to look like this. I want to body like this. And so he assesses her. He watches her. He watches how she's exercising. The trainer said to her, ma'am, I regret to inform you that you're exercising the wrong muscles and using the wrong equipment to get the results that you want. The first step is using the right equipment. Many of us are like this woman, fighting battles and situations and wanting love and wanting relationships and wanting money and having goals and dreams and visions, but we're using the wrong equipment. Instead of using the mind of Christ and having the Christ perspective and using the Word of God, we would rather lean to our own understanding and our own belief systems and philosophies, expecting the results that are only coming from the mind of Christ. Somebody say the mind of Christ. You see, it's the mind where your true strength lies. It's your mind where your intentions come alive. So in order for you to become anything, you must first deal with the mind. Somebody say, guard your mind. Guard your mind. Let's take it a little further. Can you go to Romans 12:2? Read that. Romans 12:2. These are all familiar scriptures, but I'm going to shake some stuff and recite them. Romans 12:2. Okay, it's up there. It says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good and acceptable, and what is the perfect will of God. Now, the reason we need to be transformed by the renewing of our mind is to be able to discern what God's will is for our lives. Did you hear that? Yes. The reason we need to be transformed by the renewing of our mind is to be able to discern what God's will is for our lives. So it says in the Bible, it says in the text, right? Then you will be able to prove and test what God's will is. That means the relationship between God's will be communicated clearly by what's in your mind. Y'all still with me? Y'all with me? I remember a time before I made a conscious decision to follow Jesus, even at a young age in school. I had a loving family. I had loving parents. I had excellent family. Everyone was praying. Whatever I needed, I had. I was doing a lot. I was a musician. But a lot of times, my mind was cluttered. I was doing a lot, going a lot of places. I'm probably the youngest kid to ever go on tour. When I was going on tours, I was playing for people. But my mind was cluttered. And so it started affecting my schoolwork. It started affecting a lot of things that was going on. What I didn't know that God was speaking to me the whole time. I wasn't sure about where I was supposed to go, where I was supposed to do, what I was supposed to say. I wasn't sure about those things because my mind was cluttered. But like I said, what I didn't know was God was speaking the entire time.